We were so mad that he hit that lucky shot. Everybody said on the baseline, we said, the only person who can make a shot with this much time is LeBron. Let anybody catch the ball but LeBron. And LeBron caught it. I'm like, how?
Podcast P fam, welcome back to another episode of Podcast P, a Wave original presented to y'all by Prize Picks. It's your boy PG8. Join with me is my guys, Dallas Rutherford.
You just getting a clap. You just getting a clap. You just getting a clap. Go ahead.
And Jackie Long.
Dale. Dale.
We got another special banger for y'all today. We're going to continue on with our story mode of season 3. This is a phenomenal story mode and guest that we got coming on here. One of the most dominant big men to ever play the game. None other than Dwight Howard, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. DH in the building. Come on.
Big dog. We appreciate you coming on to the show.
Yes,
I guess this our swap, DH. This our swap.
sir.
Remember you hit me in the DM and you was like, let's swap? Come on.
This
You
is it.
swap me. We swap me right now. Come on.
So that means we gotta go ahead and go on the DH show.
We got to
get
do
on
it.
the DH 12 show.
Yes,
It's
sir.
only right. How you living though, Dwight? I know we talked earlier. You said you just finished training the youngins. Talk to us a little bit about what's that about?
Just got finished coaching my son and his basketball team down here in Georgia. And I've just been so thrilled to actually coach. You know, it's been so much fun, you know, being with the young guys. They're only 11 years old. So just giving them an opportunity to play the game, learn the game at a very high level. It's been amazing. And I'm just so glad that basketball has afforded me the knowledge and the experience and the wisdom to be able to teach it to these guys.
Is this your first level of coaching your children? Is this your first experience?
Actually, it's not my first time. I've
Okay.
coached him a couple other times. My other son who plays in California, I've coached him. Also, my daughter who plays and their basketball team. But I've done some coaching with a team that was trying to make it to the Olympics a couple years ago down in Florida. But other than that, I've just always been somebody to coach from behind the scenes, try to talk to players one-on-one to help them get better.
Is there any similarities to your son with you, any?
Actually, with both of my kids, it's crazy because my son that's here, he has my size. So, like, he's out there bullying folks, getting all the rebounds, elbowing them, throwing them out the way. And he's like this big old giant. His hand's as big as mine now, and he's 11. So I'm like, it's crazy watching him. Then my other son, he's just as big, but he's all skills. Like, he has all my quickness, my footwork, the one dribble spins, the left hand finishes. He's shooting threes. Like, he got the whole package. So it's just crazy just watching both polarities. Like, you know, my young Dwight with the rebounds, elbowing, and then kind of like Dwight.
They probably got the shoulders and all, huh?
Man, shoulders, feet, everything.
When you tell coach, he gonna get the elbow. You'll play. Don't elbow like that, son.
I told him during practice, I said, hey, son, you got to put your elbow in their chest when they're trying to come down the lane. And he put his elbow on the dude's chest, and the dude almost passed out. I said, son, you got to chill, man. This is Little League.
Hey, being an enforcer at that age is crazy.
Yeah. Like, come on, Debo, stall him out.
Well, Dwight, welcome to Story Mode. Like P mentioned, it's one of our favorite type of episodes that we do. But just a few episodes, we were talking about the greatest sports commercials of all time. And you and LeBron have an awesome McDonald's commercial, and it's got to be up there. You guys are going back and forth, dunking. Larry Bird's also in that commercial. He's one of my favorite players ever, go figure. But talk a little bit about that special moment doing that commercial with LeBron and Larry Bird.
The commercial was super fun. We did it in Indiana, actually. So it was super cold outside, and we just happened to get to Indiana. And we're in the actual Pacers where we play at. And they put the goal to about 8.5 feet. and they just tell us to do all type of crazy dunks while the goal is low. So we're just doing all these crazy things. And then at the end of the whole dunk contest, we see Larry Bird. But I was like, yo, I think it'd be funny if we acted like we didn't know who Larry Bird was, because people going to be looking at us like, how y'all not know who Larry Bird is? And, you know, you in Indiana, he's a legend, you know, so it was just the whole scene, meeting Larry Bird, talking to him, doing it with LeBron. It was just amazing, man. It's one of those times where, you know, you just look at the commercial and be like, wow, like I really did a commercial with McDonald's. I really did a commercial with, you know, LeBron, with Larry Bird. And, you know, I can always go back and show my kids that, and it's an amazing feeling.
And you really broke the glass in the commercial. Who thought of that?
Yeah. Well, it was actually my idea, you know, because I like breaking glasses.
So you directed the whole commercial is what you're saying.
No, I didn't direct the whole commercial. I just wanted to make sure, like, if we had to do dunks, that I got to do the most craziest dunks, you know, just going against LeBron. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I do got to ask, though, because was Larry originally a part of the script? Because watching the commercial and seeing his get up, that's the normal day.
That's his normal wear.
Yeah, that's his normal wear. I can see him just rolling through like, oh, LeBron and Dwight's in the gym.
No,
let me go take a look.
He was actually supposed to be in the commercial, which is crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
They had another line, but I was like, man, I think it'd be funnier if I was just like, hey, what's this? You know what I'm saying? It is supposed to be Larry Bird, but just to have a McDonald's commercial, you know, growing up a big McDonald's fan, being able to, I've had my birthday parties when I was a kid at McDonald's, but now being in the NBA and actually have endorsement deal with McDonald's. Like, yes, I was getting free Big Macs, free fries. Like, it was amazing.
I know that could have probably been sensitive time because you knocked LeBron out of the playoffs prior to that commercial. Was there any, was there some jabs? Was there any talks, any conversations? Or was Larry, Larry throwing some shots in there?
No, because we actually did the commercial early in the season, and they just played it then. So,
okay.
So it was cool just to actually just have some time with Bron, away from the game, all his people, all this laughing and having a good time. You know anything about LeBron when it comes to TV commercials, he likes to joke and have a good time. So both of us was like in heaven being able to just joke and play basketball. So that was the only time we were able to see LeBron James in a dunk contest.
This is true.
I guess, we didn't enjoy that as much as we should have.
Hey, LeBron, it took McDonald's. It took McDonald's to get LeBron to do the dunk contest. Yeah.
Dwight, speaking of dunk contests, you are a dunk contest winner and an 8-time All-Star. So I got to ask you, because you done been there a lot of times and a couple of times. You feel me? I got to ask you, how do you feel about the dunk contest at this All-Star? And what do you feel about this whole new format that they doing at the All-Star to get the excitement going for the fans?
Well, I see with the dunk contest, I think that people's expectations are through the roof now. Like, what else can be done as a dunker? There's no more windmills you can do. They done jumped over all the cars. They done jumped over Shaq, Wendy. They done jumped over all the tall people. Like,
free throw line.
Yeah, free throw line. Like, now it's just, I think it has to be more stars. Like, more stars got to be in it just to, like, add a little thrill to the dunk contest and maybe add one-on-one, add some ones to the dunk. I mean, not to the dunk contest, but to All-Star Saturday night. Instead of the skills challenge, make it, have a ones game. That might be something that'd be interesting. People might really want to see who's the king of the hill in the NBA, because it's a lot of good one-on-one players. And it's some stars that may be exposed playing one-on-one. So I think it'd be fun. But as far as the All-Star game, I thought it was pretty cool. I think 40 points in the NBA is kind of fast, so you can't have 40 points when you're talking about having all these All-Stars. They're not going to miss shots. You got James Harden, you got KD, Kyrie, Steph, all these guys on one team, 40 points is going to happen in 2 minutes. So I thought that was the only crazy thing. But other than that, it was entertaining. More people really wanted to see the entertainment this year, which is hard. They watch so much basketball. We've been privileged to see some of the greatest players play for a long, extended period of time. And now it's kind of like, all right, what else is there? I done seen LeBron. I done seen Steph. Like, who else y'all gonna bring? Like, who's gonna be the new? So it's a little different.
How do you feel about what Draymond said? Two things. He said, one, the young rising stars got to play, of course, with the OGs, and he felt that they shouldn't have the opportunity if they didn't get, if they're not an all-star. First of all, we understand you're a rising star, but they shouldn't have had the opportunity to play on the court. And then the other thing that he said, which I kind of agreed with, like, what's the point of the Kobe Bryant Award and all that stuff at the All-Star now when you're playing in these different formats? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, like, some of the stuff he was saying, I kind of agree with him. So I want to just ask you that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really opinion-based. Like, obviously, some people are going to like the new format. A lot of the players are going to have an issue with it because they're used to the norm. They're used to the All-Star game being East versus West, or two teams, and then the rookie game, but I think the NBA is just trying to find so many different ways to bring viewership, to get more people to come to the games and be entertained. And it's hard. After COVID, everything just really changed. People stopped coming to games and started streaming games. So they're just trying to find so many things. I think what the NBA might need to do is bring Big Zah back. The NBA should have had Big Zah. If y'all would have had Big Zah.
I'm rolling.
If Big Zah. Look, did you hear what he said? Hey, Dallas said, I'm rolling. I'm telling you.
Let's get him in Philly. Come on.
They should have had Big Zah there, man. Big Zah would have had the crowd entertained, man. What y'all doing? Bring Big Zah back for 1 year.
I 100% agree. I think, obviously Draymond's message was 100%. I think people were offended by the delivery of it, but I think 100%, right? All-Star Weekend is for the All-Stars, right? The guys that carry the league. And I think what it did do was make the game competitive because you had the OGs that didn't want to show up or get shown up by these rising stars. So I thought it elevated the game to have the OGs play harder, to not be embarrassed. So what the NBA did, I thought, was trying to be creative to make the game more interesting, more entertaining, more competitive. I like that aspect of it. At the end of the day, I think what Chuck said, too, was an honest and I think a great opinion about ultimately our generation messing what the All-Star Weekend meant. And that was putting the best players together and watch them compete hard. And I also think what they did with mixing East and West kind of changed things up as well, because now you take out that rivalry of Eastern Conference and Western Conference. So I think it's a lot that goes into the elements of why All-Star Weekend isn't what it is. I do love that one-on-one, but that goes along with we already having trouble with dudes, getting in the dunk contest because of the embarrassment, or playing hard in All-Star Weekend because of the embarrassment. So now you really gonna get stripped and we really gonna see how you play one-on-one and if you're going to play hard in that scenario as well. So I think it's just a tough, challenge that we're trying to tackle with how can we improve All-Star Weekend.
I don't understand what is the embarrassing part. Like, if you're playing one-on-one and somebody has a better game, why would you get embarrassed? Like, both of y'all playing, they just won the game. How many boxers go out there and say, you know what, I ain't going to box because I don't want to get knocked out? Every time they step in the ring, they know it's a chance.
There's a chance. Yeah.
That's why they train as good as they train, so they won't get knocked out.
You're both all-stars. At the end of the day, do what all-stars do. Show your good defense, show your good offense.
Just think about it. They'll play 5-on-5 and play one-on-one with 5-on-5. Mm-hmm. Why not just do one-on-one? You know what I'm saying? Let's see if you really who you say you are. There's nobody out there to help you. no defense, lock up, man up.
They done let the girls beat us, man.
Yeah, but the girls going crazy.
Shout out to our girls.
And the viewership, and shout out Unrivaled, man. That league has been awesome and entertaining to watch.
What is that? I just happened to see a whole bunch of people playing one-on-one.
I like it.
I didn't know what part of their season was that. Was that like their All-Star break, or was that like?
Yeah, what is it?
I didn't know what that break was for them. I've watched a couple of their league games, and it's been real entertaining to watch them have to, like, you can't duck no smoke in that. You know what I mean?
And they not trying to duck nobody. Everybody trying to play everybody, and I like that. Like, so why can't we get that way?
Theirs is different than Big Three, right? Big Three is half court 3-on-3, and theirs is full court 3-on-3.
No, this is half court 1-on-1 though.
But but I'm saying the 1-on-1 is half court.
But their actual league games is full court 3-on-3.
There's no doubt that All-Star Weekend, it received a lot of criticism, but I think one thing that I can at least appreciate about the weekend was that they did try something different. They're trying to fix it. Now, if they just threw the same old, format out there, so I think it's good that they're trying to implement new things. But I think one takeaway from this weekend, and I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on it, specifically P and Dwight, was the tweets after the dunk contest. Say what you want about Matt McClung. He's kind of been carrying this thing for a couple weekends or a couple years now. And I think he's only played in like 4 or 5 actual NBA games. And there's an argument there. It's like, this guy's in the NBA. He's not, whatever. But after the dunk contest, you saw Ja Morant tweet about it. You saw Zach LaVine coming back out like, okay, Giannis.
They playing. They lying. They lying. They just trying to get some.
They ain't doing it.
They just trying to get some retweets, man. They trying to get some retweets, man.
Retweets?
Yeah.
Totally.
You telling me Ja Morant couldn't have been in the dunk contest this year?
As high as he jumped.
Anytime
I think he could have, but I think once he's seeing it's almost like there's got to be some players that save this thing. You know what I mean? I think there's got to be a player who's a star that comes out and says, hey, enough is enough, and I'm going to get the credit for turning this thing around. And I think that's what he was getting at.
Zion need to be in it. Ja need to be in it.
Anthony Edwards.
But see, the thing is, and I understand why Bron doesn't do the dunk contest. He's not a dunk contest dunker. Like, it's a difference between being an in-game dunker and a dunk contest dunker. I believe LeBron is an in-game dunker. He gets the momentum from the crowd. He's moving. He's running down the court. He gets a fast break. Now he's able to dunk. He's never been a dunk contest dunker. There's people who are actual showmen. You got the Vince Carters. You got, even myself, you got Nate Robinson. Shout out to Nate Robinson for finally getting his kidney. You have these guys, we're showmen. We want to get out there and entertain the crowd, get everybody like, oh my God, now the guys just want to go dunk and go sit back down. So we got to get some more showmanship. We got to get guys who can actually get the crowd going, who can jump off 1 or 2 feet, who got a little flare and glare. It's a little different. You can't just go out there because it's guys who got some bounce. Like Jericho Sims, he was in I think he was one of the guys from New York. They got bounce, but they don't have dunk contest bounce. And then NBA dunk contest bounce. It's different because you got 20,000 fans. They just there for you. So, like, when I was doing my dunk contest, I practiced for 3 years leading up to the dunk contest. I went to gym after gym around the United States, especially in Florida, asking people what they felt about all the dunks that I was going to do. And so by the time I got to the dunk contest, I already had my dunk package ready.
I like that. Well, LeBron's not he's not an in-game. I mean, he's not an all-star weekend, I think, dunk contest guy, but he didn't even play in the all-star game this year. What are your guys' thoughts? P, I know he's a coworker. I want some honest opinions about that controversy of him last minute deciding not to suit up when otherwise there was an opportunity. Someone like Norman Powell, P, other guys could have got an opportunity. What are your thoughts on LeBron last minute going, my foot hurts?
What you call that, Dwight? Pull the vet move.
That's what it's called.
He pulled the vet move.
I think that was worse than pulling a vet move. Pulling a vet move is like, I'm not going to practice on All-Star practice day. That's pulling a vet move.
Yeah.
Waiting all the way up until an hour left before the game
Kevin Hart scene.
to say that you're not going to play. I just felt like, there's no offense to LeBron, but he could have said something earlier so somebody else could get in an All-Star game. I just felt like that wasn't right. Norman Powell's having a great season. The kid in Sacramento, the big man, all these guys could have had an opportunity to play. And it's like, yo, I get it. You want to rest up, but somebody else could have had that spot just for this game. You have played in every All-Star game. You can probably play in every All-Star game every year that you decide to play in the NBA. But this guy, Norman, he might not have an opportunity again. You know, you never know. So I feel like this was the one time he could have said something earlier. And we know what he want to get back to is get back to Luka so they can win. He had to take Luka to go get the juice. The juice. The Skittle juice. So Luka gonna come back. He gonna be 30 pounds lighter. He gonna be dunking,
jumping out the gym and shit.
Yeah, he gonna have a left leg LeBron leg. He gonna have a one leg like LeBron. I'm telling you.
He getting in that lab. No, I agree. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. Even, you know, I've seen the vets at least lace up and they play the 1 minute check out, but they, you know, at least gave fans a chance to see them that were at All-Star Weekend. I mean, there's mixed feelings on that.
Could have wore his uniform. Shit.
Yeah. Amen.
It's for sure mixed feelings on that. But I mean, hey, his resume, what he's been to the league, I got to give him that respect that, you know, hey, maybe it was a last second decision of, hey, something just don't feel right. I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah,
you never know.
Come on, P.
Hey, Dwight, it's like he didn't know about the trade either, right?
He knew about the trade. He LeBron James. They call him Le GM, Le Coach.
He know about everything.
And what? He know when Jesus come back. And the Bible say no man know the day.
He know when Jesus coming back. Oh, man.
Him and Sam's. I'm tired of Sam's, man. Sam's know the news. He know the news before the news even hit.
Before the news hit the news.
Come on, Sam's.
Oh, my God.
You know what it is.
Go drink some water, P. Go drink some water.
I know.
Go drink some water. Go drink some water. Shit.
Dwight, I want to talk about your, you know, rookie season. You're in Orlando on a team where T-Mac was originally on, and then he asked for a trade, not wanting to be a part of the rebuild or what he thought was going to be a rebuild. What was going through your mind at that time, especially, you know, you being a young player coming into the league? What was your feelings on that situation where you thought you was playing with one of the best top 5 at that time players in the NBA?
Well, when it happened, I was highly upset. Well, I wouldn't say highly, but I was not upset, but I was highly disappointed. And I was disappointed because I'm like, T-Mac, you came from high school just like me, and you're saying that you don't want to play with another high schooler. So I'm like, well, dang, you just carried me out already. Like, all right, that just made me go harder. But, you know, I just think if I would have played with T-Mac, I probably wouldn't have been able to grow like I was able to and become the Dwight Howard, because it would have been the T-Mac show and I would have been learning how to play from him. So, I mean, everything happens how it's supposed to happen. I would have loved to play with T-Mac, but I think that it was just going to be very difficult with, you know, how he played at the time and then me trying to come in and learn the game. I felt like if we would have met in a place where it would have been like when he got to Houston and when I was just getting back to LA for the second time, if both of us was in that kind of mindset, I think that we could have worked out very well together.
Talk to me a little about like who helped most with your stint in Orlando? Because you played with an awesome Orlando team with Jameer Nelson, Hedo Turkoglu, JJ Redick, on and on of talent and veterans, good veterans. Who would you say like you kind of took you under their wing, and who you've learned the most from? Just being a young professional in the league.
Well, see, when I came in the league, man, at 18, I'm youngest guy on the team. I'm coming from a 16 person graduating class at my school. So it's a whole new world for me. I don't know nothing about what's going on. They trying to teach me what work was. And I'm like,
work.
Yeah, they telling me 18, I'm at 18, and like, young fella, you got to have some work when you're on the road. And I'm like, work? Do I supposed to bring a pen and a pad and like do some business? Like, what do y'all mean?
I just got out of school.
Yeah, I thought this is why I came to the league. I'm done with work. They're like, nah, young fella, you just getting started with the work. I'm like, oh, that's what work means. Okay, all right. But yeah, I had Grant Hill when I first came in, and I had Stacey Ogman. I had
Dina.
Yeah, Tony Batiste. That was probably my favorite vet was Tony Batiste. I had Keith Bogans. There's so many guys. Jameer Nelson was the same. He came out the same year as me, but he was a vet to me because he had just come out of college. He was the closest person to my age. So, I'm not knowing who to talk to, what to talk about. It's kind of weird, but I was just so glad to have the guys that I had on my team because Catino, Mobley, these guys knew how to, one, get the best out of me, but two, like, just kind of keep me in that place where, like, yeah, you was the number one pick, but you got to work, to gain your respect in this league and stuff like that. So I did have a lot of good vets. Anthony Johnson.
I'm asking this because he's from Dina, where I'm from. What did you learn from my boy Stacey Ogman?
All right, so Stacey was my vet my rookie year. So he loved red gummy bears. I had to make sure he had cold red gummy bears because he was
Trust me, I know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
So I had to make sure he had only red gummy bears.
Can you explain? I'm not following.
Don't worry about that. Now that you catch on later. Go ahead, Dwight.
Hopefully you can catch it. But I literally had to babysit his daughter who was my age. So his daughter was 18. He made me babysit her. So when she came in town, I had to take her out to the club if she wanted to go. I had to watch her and stuff like that. So he was teaching me how to really take care of the chicks. It's his daughter. He like, hey, young fella, don't fuck with my daughter. I'm like, I got you, OG. I got you. But, just having me do that, just teach me about the order of respect when you get into the league. You know what I'm saying? So always hard work, always getting in the weight room and working on my body. I don't know if you ever seen Iceman as he got through the league. He was wiry strong, but he was always in the gym, always working constantly. So, shout out to Stace.
Dwight, I want to fast forward to 2009, that Eastern Conference Finals. It was one of the best Eastern Conference Finals I think I've ever watched. But you guys not only beat a LeBron-led Cavs, but you also beat the NBA script. Everyone wanted to see Kobe versus LeBron finals. And I'd love to know if you, being in that series, thought that was a real thing. But is there any crazy stories or memorable moments that the fans wouldn't know?
I was so mad, man. Every time I saw a Kobe and LeBron commercial, I swear to God, I was at home like, I can't wait to get out the floor and play these boys, man. They out here got a commercial already. We ain't even played, even got to the finals, man.
Right.
And then they had some dolls. They had the little dolls. So I was like, you know what, hell, I'm gonna go ahead and make my own doll. I went and had a company make me a little doll too, and I was carrying my doll around. But my teammates were so upset, man. We really took that as motivation. Like, y'all just gonna put us to the side like we just did beat the Cavs in the regular season like that. And so we took that very offensive. So every game it was like we're trying to end the Cavs, like embarrass them. Like it was no jokes. I know I smile a lot and play. You know what I'm saying? But when we got on the court, I literally broke the dunk one time and broke the scoreboard. Like every time I was trying to break the scoreboard, break the backboard. Like we really didn't like the fact that they played with us like that.
You was on your MJ.
Yeah,
took that personal.
I was on my MJ. I'm looking like him now. I cut my mustache off. I was half bald headed back in the day. I'm telling you.
He got all his hair off his face too.
I did this by mistake. I'm gonna tell you, I was trying to line up my mustache myself. And I actually did it too light, so I was like, damn, I might as well cut this bitch off. The damn Zob, man. The Zob be having you trip, man. God.
Hey, I gotta break this up. Let's talk about game 2 of that series, Dwight, with only 1 second left. Your boy Hedo hits a shot to pull y'all up by 2. And then LeBron then catches it at the buzzer and knocks down a wild 3 to win the game. So, I need you to tell me about the locker room reaction to that insane moment, man. Talk to me.
We were so mad that he hit that lucky shot because everybody said on the baseline, we said the only person who can make a shot with this much time is LeBron. Nobody else got a quick enough release. Let anybody catch the ball but LeBron. And LeBron caught it. I'm like, how? And then he just throws it up and make it. I'm like, but you know what? Actually, surprisingly, when we got back to the locker room, we was like, we finna beat their ass next game. Don't even worry about it. We weren't tripping because we knew that it took a lucky shot from LeBron to beat us, a miracle shot. And so, we weren't tripping. We was ready for, I think Boston was before that. So it was Boston, then Cleveland, and then LA. So we was ready.
Yeah, and I mean that was at their home too. So like anytime you feel like it takes that for the home team to get a win, you definitely feel confident. Yeah. We going back home. Like, don't even worry about that. We going back to the crib.
Yeah, we was cool. I wanted to beat LeBron so bad, man. I'm telling you, boy, we was so mad. I'm telling you. I was trying to throw powder at him and everything. Don't ever doing that powder tosser for the game. That powder out here, man.
Anything to get in his head.
Yeah.
You spoke about facing Bron and knocking Bron out to go to the finals, and then you play against, and this is young Bron, right? 2009, this is young Bron. Then you go ahead and go to the finals where you get a chance to play Kobe in the finals. Talk to us a little bit about the differences in game planning for both of those guys. This is, Kobe still in his prime as well, but this is, I think people don't understand. I came in the league 2010, so I caught the middle LeBron. That early LeBron is watching him was like, I don't even how do you guard him? Talk to us a little bit about the differences that you guys had to game plan versus those two.
It was crazy because what I would tell my teammates is, listen, keep LeBron in front. Make him shoot tough shots. That's how we play them. Don't worry about all the other stuff. Keep him in front. We lock down the paint. We'll be good. We want to force LeBron to shoot tough twos and long threes. We're playing Kobe. The difference is he's a tough two-point shot maker. So it was a different game plan because you got Kobe, but then you got Powell. And then you got Andrew Bynum, and then you got Lamar Odom. So I'm pushing 6'11", 6'10", 6'11". Bynum 7'3", Powell 7'1".
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a big lineup. And then you got Kobe Bryant in his prime. You know what I'm saying? I think was this 24 Kobe or 8 Kobe?
This 24 Kobe.
24, okay. So you got the Kobe I remember he hit a shot during one of the games where he jumped up he was on the left block, like he drove, put the ball up. I jumped up to try to block it. He went between, pumped it, and then went back down and shot it again. And I said, I know I jumped as hard as I could in the air.
I jumped as hard as I could.
He anointed me with the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. All in the mid-air and then shot it. I said, how you do that?
You know what was crazy? I'm in college watching this series. That's what really just solidified. Like, man, this dude Kobe is phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like, this dude is his will to win, the shots that he was making. It was just like, oh my God. And then, you know, he was playing, great defenders was on him. You know, I think Michael Petras at the time was guarding him.
Michael Petras, the best defender who was, like I thought, solid. Strong, can jump, athletic. But Kobe just knew, and it was crazy because this is the crazy part. So in practice, Stan had Michael Petras play as Kobe Bryant. And when Michael Petras was Kobe Bryant, he was better than Michael Petras. He was better than Michael Petras. He was better than himself.
You just needed that confidence.
I was like, yo, you should be Kobe, don't change his jersey name to Kobe.
Change his jersey.
Yeah, he was going crazy. And everything Michael did in practice, Kobe was actually doing it in the real game. So I was like, yo, this is sick. Kobe is just so cold, but it wasn't just Kobe that made that series tough. You got the triple towers and then Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher is like the shortest, strongest most light-skinned, most bald-head point guard in the history of the NBA, bro. You ain't backing him down, bro.
Yeah, he's solid. Good base. Good base on D-Fish.
Let's take a quick break from the episode to let you know about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the #1 place to get real money sports action. With over 5 million players across the country, it's the most exciting way to get in on all the action while you're watching your favorite sports and players.
That's right, Jackie. All-Star Weekend is behind us and the home stretch is here. We've got a top-tier matchup tonight between two young superstars with OKC versus Minnesota. So let's pick a couple player projections from this game. First up, Jackie, your guy SGA is at 30.5 points. You going more or less?
Less.
Okay, less.
Less.
Okay, Anthony Edwards has been balling lately. His projection is at 27.5 points. More or less, Jackie?
More. Anything with AE is more because he's do what he do.
He's the truth.
All right, Dallas. Those are my picks. Another reason I love Prize Picks is because they invented the flex play. This means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Now we have another good matchup between Denver and Indiana. The Joker been balling all the time, I'm going to say. He's at 28.5 points, more or less, Dallas.
I'm taking more.
That's a good one. You definitely better. Okay, what about Tyrese Halliburton, 8.5 assists, more or less?
You know I got to go Podcast P family. We got to go more, Jackie. We got to go more.
Come on. I agree with you on that.
Guys, it's that easy. You just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot up to win 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks and sign up today and use our promo code PodcastP and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even have to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed.
Fellas, I know everybody loves a good deal. That's why we got to talk about Buffalo Wild Wings. In case you didn't know, you can now get 20 boneless wings, a large fry, and up to 4 dips for only $16.99 with Buffalo Wild Wings Go.
20 wings means you got to mix and match the sauces. And B-Dubs have so many options like Cajun, original buffalo, and of course, lemon pepper.
You can get whichever dipping sauce you want, and what sauce you use tells a lot about you. I rock with the ranch. What about you guys? Ranch or blue cheese?
Ranch all the way. Ranch all the way.
Okay.
The thing that makes this deal so dope is that you can share it with your homies. You get 20 boneless wings, a large fry, and again, up to 4 dips. And for only $16.99.
Some places only offer deals when you choose takeout, but not this one. So while you're watching games from your couch, you can enjoy this amazing offer with takeout or delivery with Buffalo Wild Wings Go.
So pull up and check it out for yourself when you order 20 boneless wings, a large fry, and 4 dips for only $16.99 with Buffalo Wild Wings Go. Listen up. This show is sponsored by Liquid IV. I'm somebody that loves to show myself a little love, whether it's hopping on a video game or treating myself to my favorite meal.
Love looks different for everybody though, P. And I show myself every day love by indulging in Liquid IV. It offers extraordinary hydration in the form of so many good flavors like pina colada or lemon lime. They even offer sugar-free flavors like raspberry lemonade.
Liquid IV is leading the way in innovation. It's so easy to use. You just take a packet with you on the go, tear, pour, and enjoy. I personally love to use it before any one of my games so I can stay hydrated and get those buckets in my church league.
Hey, Dallas, I want to let people know that Liquid IV is scientifically formulated to hydrate you better than water alone. It contains 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink. Just one stick and 16 ounces of water is all you need to keep yourself hydrated and feeling your best.
You don't even need to be a world-class athlete like my boy P to benefit from Liquid IV. It's made for everyone. So if you had a long day of traveling, Liquid IV is for you. If you just finished an intense workout, Liquid IV is for you. Again, just tear, pour, and enjoy.
Y'all heard the guys. Embrace your ritual with extraordinary hydration from Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order when you go to liquidiv.com and use Podcast P at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code PODCASTP at liquidiv.com. So break the mold in your own ritual and try Liquid IV. Let's take a brief break to put everyone onto this fire deal from DoorDash and Dash Pass. Dash Pass has a members-only deal for the 2024-2025 season.
It's the home stretch of the season, P, so I expect to see a lot of buckets. So for this season, when a player scores 50 or more points in a game, Dash Pass members save 50% on an order, up to $10 off.
Listen up. This is a members-only deal, all right? So make sure you're a Dash Pass member to take advantage of this deal. Sign up for the Dash Pass and save more all year round with $0 delivery fees and reduced service fees on eligible orders.
Use the promo code NBA50 the day after a player drops 50 points during the 24-25 NBA regular season. The offer is only valid at participating merchants from noon to midnight the day after the 50-point game.
You heard my guys. So sign up to Dash Pass today, and the next time somebody drops a 50 ball in the game, you can save 50% off up to $10. With this deal, they swoosh, you save.
Dwight, you just talked about the differences a little bit. What I got is like the preparation on how you guarded, LeBron compared to how you would guard Kobe. But I want to know from your perspective, when you're in that locker room and you're about to play LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals, or whether you're playing Kobe, when you're looking across at your teammates and you're preparing, there's always those conversations about the Kobe or LeBron debate. And which one would instill fear. You hear that about Kobe more than you do LeBron. When you're looking at your teammates facing those two guys, could you see a difference in your teammates, whether it was, hey, we're playing LeBron tonight or we're playing Kobe? I want you to talk to me a little bit about what you saw in your teammates facing those two guys.
No, I think everybody was ready. I think playing against Bron got everybody ready to play Kobe. It was just the Lakers had so much experience and firepower, and we were so young, and we didn't have a true understanding of being in that moment. We thinking that we could get back to the championship, not understanding how hard it is just to even get there. You know what I'm saying? It took me almost 10 years to get back to the finals after going with Orlando. So it's so difficult to get there. It's so difficult to play in that type of atmosphere. So seeing how Phil Jackson was able to take this juggernaut of an offensive scorer and player in Kobe, match him up with the three-headed monster with Lamar, Andrew Bynum, and Powell, and then have your Trevor Arizas and the shooters and the defenders to match up with this offensive juggernaut who's his mental, his psyche coming into the game. He's not talking. He's kind of looking like an eagle before the game. Kobe got this little eagle look where one eye is focused, but the other eye is looking at everybody at the same time. So I called him Little Bird. I said, Bird ready tonight, boy. Bird is ready. But Kobe had this look, and then he started hitting with licking his lips and chewing the fake gum.
Licking his lip and chewing the fake gum.
There's no gum in his mouth. But hey, yo.
Dwight, I don't know if you noticed about me. I am probably the nosiest person in the world. So I got to ask a nosy question because I just got to know. In an interview, why did Stan Van Gundy say that you wanted him fired? And later
Oh
you
my
called it
God.
and then later you called it the worst day of your life. So
It
I need you to
was.
take us back that moment, man, and what led to that situation.
Man, it was so crazy because it had all started all these rumors about me wanting to leave Orlando. And at the time, before the season even started, I had already went to the Magic and asked them, could, I get traded? And I didn't want no media involved. I wanted to actually leave before the season started so it wouldn't be no, like the LeBron effect where they're making this whole story and they got a whole town against you and all this stuff. But they didn't trade me. They said they would, and then they didn't trade me at all. So I was like, man, this didn't happen. So I ended up staying there throughout the middle of the season. It was kind of like Dwight wants to get traded and he doesn't want to get traded. And this is not coming from me. This is coming from the media. And I'm like, man, I'm not even saying nothing about it. They told me that they was going to trade me. They didn't. So I'm like, I might as well just go hoop until they trade me or do whatever. But the media's making it seem like Dwight don't want to be here. He's going against the front office. He wants to get coach fired. And I'm like, yo, I'm not doing none of this talking. So as all this is happening throughout the season, we're about to play the New York Knicks, big headline TV game. And one of the reporters is like, hey, Stan is out there and they're asking him some crazy questions. Maybe you should go out there and help clear the air up and stuff like that. So I walk out there and I'm like, man, let me go show everybody that me and Stan cool. So I walk out there, put my arm around Stan, and I guess he had just said, I got hurt. I got news from the front office that Dwight wants to be fired. So he just say that. And I walk out there and I'm like, what up, Stan? Yeah. And everybody's like, chee. I'm like, what's going on? And then he just walks off and they like, yeah, Stan just told us that you wanted him fired. I'm like, oh, damn. Oh. Man, it was so bad. I felt so bad. I'm like, man, why would he do that? Now everybody going to think I'm a coach killer. Now it's just bad because at that time in the NBA, if coaches are getting fired, the first thing they're doing is saying it's the player's fault, the player's not right. And so I'm like, man, I don't want to be a player that's being put like that because it's not on the coach, it's on the players to get the job done. So I didn't like that. And the whole day, my day was just messed up. I couldn't get my pregame nap. I couldn't think. The game, I had a really bad game. It was just so bad. I was really hurt, man, at how that whole fiasco ended up going down.
He wish he had that Zaza at that time.
We all needed some Zaza at that time.
Dwight, one thing about those Orlando teams, specifically the 2009 team, that I think kind of gets overlooked is how you guys essentially pioneered the three-point era that's often discussed today. Yes. And I think there's a stat that you guys led the league in three-pointers made 5 straight years. Do you think about that now? And as a big man playing 5, back in the day, was that a struggle for you to kind of get adjusted to that? Like, hey, I'm used to just getting fed the ball down low, and now the team wants to lead the league in three-point. Was there anything there between you and that play style?
Because it was kind of a mix for me. Like, I would get the ball after I would screen and roll. And if that'd be easier points, I could catch it in the paint, get right to my jump hooks or whatever. Because a lot of times if I would catch the ball on the post, back then you got everybody boxes and elbows, you got everybody in the paint. It's no space to go to work. As soon as I take a dribble, they're collapsing on me. So the best way to get the ball is to keep the floor spread, high pick and roll or side pick and roll to the basket, force the defense to collapse. If they don't help, I got to dunk. If they do help, my guys got threes on the perimeter. So I was cool with it. I've never been a selfish type player. I've never been a player that's been like, let me go ahead and try to score all the points in the post and stuff like that. I want other people to get the ball and get involved. So now when I do get the ball in the post, I can go to work with nobody to double team or help. So, it just worked out in Orlando very well that we had 4 shooters. We're really 5, but they just told me I couldn't shoot. So I mean, but, we had the 4 shooters and then 1 in the paint. And it really was effective for us at that time because me being able to get back on offense fast by sprinting out of the defense, beating the bigs down the court, putting pressure on the front of the rim, and then coming back to set screens. Now that puts everybody in a position like, man, we can't let this nigga Dwight keep coming down the lane and dunking on us. We got to stop the roll. So if y'all stop the roll, now we kicking it out to the Hitos, Jameers, Courtney Lees, all our shooters, and we taking advantage of that. So it was a lot of fun for me. I just think that once I left for Orlando, it kind of became like, oh, Dwight should be doing this with his game. And then the bigs started to change. It started to be more of a no post-up league to strictly the bigs coming down the center and being a part of being ball movers. That's what they would call it. Catch it at the top of the key, swing it to a dribble handoff, or push to a pick and roll. All these things was in the era that I started to come up in after my first couple years. My first from 2004 to 2009, it was a lot of back downs and stuff like that. But then it became high pick and roll to the basket, come back out, set screens, or big man catching in the trail position, and he got to make a play out of the trail position.
Dwight, just because you spoke about the play style, I read a funny stat, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, but it said that in the 3-point contest in Taiwan that you made more 3-pointers in that than you made in any season of your NBA career. I want to know, have you improved on your 3-point shooting over the years, or back in the day, if they let you pull it, you were knocking them down back then too?
I thought you was going to tell me so in 5. I was waiting on a good stat. You had to tell me that I made more threes in Taiwan.
I want to know if you were shooting them back then, if you were knocking them down, or if you've been working on this 3-point shot over these years without anybody really,
See, when I was playing in the NBA, they said, Dwight, we need you to only dunk the ball. No threes. Just go dunk the ball. So me, I'm like, hey, I'm going to do whatever it takes for the team to win. If y'all want me to dunk the ball, I'm going to try to go get the most dunks in NBA history. And I end up getting the most dunks in NBA history.
Yep.
So I should have started shooting more threes because they let all the big men shoot threes. Now, I seen one dude from Sacramento, he can't even hold his hands right. He got the Michael Kidd Gilchrist shot, and they still let him shoot. I'm like, what are y'all doing? At least I got good form. Like, come on, he all over here.
Okay.
How much were you working, and even in that span, how much were you working on your 3-point shot? Like, where did you hope that you could have unlocked that?
I did. I was working on every part of my game, like shooting, face-up shooting in the post, all these different things. At one point, me and you had one of the same trainers, and I remember you telling me, hey, you got to try some of the stuff that he introduced to you. And I'm like, man, the team is telling me they don't want me to do none of this stuff. So it's like, on one end, I'm practicing shooting threes, I'm practicing ball handling, I'm practicing doing these different moves. And then on the other end, the teams are saying, this is not what we want from you. We only want you to get in the post, hook shot, or dunk the ball. So it's kind of like I was stuck in that bad position of the game being changed a little bit, or adapting to a new part for bigs. Because right after me became the Cats and the Embiids and the Jokers, where they're letting them bring the ball up the court and do all that stuff that we were hoping to do. And then I ended up going to a team, Daryl Morey. He played with your boy. He told me that he was going to have Dream working out with me, and I was going to be able to get the ball in the post and do all this stuff. I got down to Houston, and I was sold the Dream. I wasn't going to be able to work with the Dream. That's what it was.
Sold the Dream.
It almost feels like it was a curse by how dominant you were in the paint, that's all people saw when it came to you is what you could do with the ball in the paint, more so than let him unlock his full potential. Because think about even how much more dominant you would have been
if I was able to do that.
Could pop. Yeah. If you can pop, and what pressure that puts on a team now, because one of the things that, kind of, I guess, negates a pick and pop is you have to switch.
Yeah.
And then now that puts a guard on you where you can really take advantage of the matchup. So, yeah, I in a way, it just sounds that, how dominant you were, it kind of puts you in a box.
Yeah, it was like a blessing and a curse. Like, I was so good at being dominant in the paint. It was like, and I could understand that guys used to be like, Dwight, why are you out here shooting threes? You should be down there in the paint bullying people. But I'm like, man, y'all want me to bully people for a whole 20 years? My body gonna be hurt. I want to walk when I'm done playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? But, I understand I had done so much stuff in the paint, dunking on people, doing all those different things. People like, man, this is what we want to see. This is all we know is you doing this. So, I guess it's just a blessing and a curse.
I want to pivot to a highlight in your career, being part of the legendary Redeem team in 2008. What were those practices like, and were there any crazy moments or memorable one-on-one battles that y'all had during that time?
It was crazy, man. I was the youngest guy on this Olympic team, so I'm just like so happy and excited to be a part of it. I'm not even understanding the magnitude of me being on this team until I got older. I'm just like, man, I'm playing against prime Kobe. Kobe's in his prime. You got Jason Kidd. I got Chris Paul. I got Darren Williams, Amari Stoudemire, all these guys, we playing against each other. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I ain't even know what to think about it. Like, but just seeing I would say the craziest parts is just watching guys like Joe Johnson, Gilbert Arenas be in practice and they're frying some of your favorite players. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're watching Joe Johnson, just his mid-range game, nobody's stopping it. You're seeing Gilbert just going crazy. All these guys. And Carmelo, Olympic Carmelo is probably like a 5-time NBA champ if he was able to play like Olympic all the time. And it's just crazy to see Melo do all this stuff for the Olympic team, man. It's just the experience itself, being in the Olympics, going through the whole process of the opening ceremonies, the practices, all of us getting up and lifting weights. It was just fun for me. I'm watching these guys that I grew up with or that I read about, and now they're my teammates, Michael Reds, the Jason Kidds, the Kobe's. Now I'm playing against these guys. I'm all over in China and all this stuff. Like, it's sick for me. So I was just thankful. I can't remember like little like details of some stuff because I was just so like in like a all state.
It was a dream.
Yeah.
I know it had to be a hell of a takeaway. I know, at least for me, my opportunity to play on the 2016 Olympic team. And I took a lot away from that. Like, damn, I'm one of the best players in the league. I get to play with KD. I got to play with, Kai, Carmelo. Going into that season, that next year, I felt I'm one of the best in this league. And I took a lot away from that moment. Did that kind of feel the same way? Like,
yes.
Man, I got to play with Kobe. I got to play with, Brock. Like, it was so many dudes that I got to play with. J Kidd, did it kind of feel that way too? Like, it's a badge now that like, it's a stamp. I'm one of the best in the NBA.
That was a big stamp. And then playing against them and actually dominating their practices and stuff, it gave me more confidence for the regular season. Like, oh yeah, I just beat these boys in practice. So when I get back with my squad, it's over with. I'm dunking on everybody. I can't wait. I know some tricks now. I'm watching all these dudes play. I know what to do. Yeah.
I got the antidote.
That was the best part, man.
Dwight, you always hear about those stories about, making it to the Olympic team, and you get to see everyone's how they approach practice, what their workout routine was. Was there one specific person? Because there was a lot of guys on that team that we've heard about these stories of their work ethic. But in your experience and time there, Was there any one person that really, really had a workout routine or something you learned about them and how they approached the game on that
I
team?
think it was everybody. I think it was just the era that all of us came up in. Like, we knew nothing but hard work. All the ones that came up in our league, we've had a long career. And that's because of the hard work and the amount of hours that we put in. Just think about the Melo, CP, who's still playing, Darren Williams. All these guys played over 10 plus years in the league. That shows you right there just how hard you have to work to be able to play for these many years. So seeing that, it just kind of put me in that place like, this is where I belong because I'm working just as hard or harder than these guys. So because of that, I got to, one, step my game up and work even more harder, but two, appreciate the fact that these guys are here because of how hard they work, not just their talent. It's just the hard work that they put in every single day, the repetitions, the drive to want to get better. And when this is the Olympics, we don't necessarily have to be doing all of this stuff, but for them to make that commitment for 3 years leading up to the Olympics and all that stuff, that was key.
Speaking of the Redeem team, we know y'all was definitely tearing up everybody in the competition. And I do recall you saying that you was young and the youngest on the squad, Dwight, and I could tell that you was the youngest one because y'all all went to Wendy's as a team and you was eating that burger like you have never ate in your life. So I just want you to tell me about that moment when all y'all, Darren Williams and Brown, was all at the Wendy's and you was tearing that damn burger up. And tell me what type of burger it was.
They was smacking.
Man, it was so good. Listen, so we was going by Wendy's because we was trying to find a place to stop. So we saw a gas station and it ended up having a Wendy's in it, which was perfect. I had to get me a double stack with a large fry and a Frosty. And listen, I felt like I ain't ate for 2 days. And so when I had the hot dog, the hamburger, I'm just going crazy, just eating it. And then I think it was Chris, he wanted to put the camera and say something. With Chris Bosh was trying to say something on the camera. And I was just looking at him like, yeah, I ain't got no words. But this burger good as hell.
Where was y'all at? Because I know that Olympic year, it was Beijing, but like where?
We was in the States. I think we was in San Francisco or headed to San Francisco. We was on.
Okay.
That was fun, man. Just, see, it's crazy because you got to think, we are all legends.
Yeah.
In the gas station, sitting down at Waffle House, eating Wendy's. Like, just the odds of that.
Was there any fans, somebody had, is that Dwight?
People was doing it all the time. People's like, and then, people just, they seeing all of us, they know we're real, but they're like, looking like, I know. It's no way.
Like that, this can't be real.
Yeah.
Was there anybody when y'all found the Wendy's that was like the team, like, what everybody want to eat, we'll go get it? And somebody was like, nah, we getting out. We gonna go inside.
I think we all just said we want to get out because I think we was traveling. I think everybody was like, man, we got to get out and get some food. And that's what it was. We end up stopping because usually they don't have us stop because of security. And there's so many of us. You got Kobe, Bron, Chris Paul, you got all the superstars. So now it's just like, man, that's going to be a security risk if all of us get out. And I think, who said something? He didn't have to pull a vet move there because he wasn't a vet. LeBron. Yeah, I told you. Why you think they call him King James? He know when Jesus coming back. He know the NBA script.
I want to fast forward to LA, and there's an infamous legendary story in NBA circles in 2013 with Kobe, Steve Nash, you, and Mitch Kupchak. And they were pitching you to stay in LA. But the rumor is that Kobe, might have challenged you, and that challenge might have pushed you away from staying in LA. Can you walk us through what was said in that meeting and kind of clear the air on what exactly went down from your perspective in that meeting?
Why do I ever hear about these rumors? All right, so the only thing Kobe did say during that time was, if you want to leave, then leave, and if you want to stay, then stay. That's the only thing he said. There was no challenge. There was no anything like that. What I did say was that I came in this season trying to learn from you guys because I know one day you guys are going to end y'all's career and I'm probably still going to be playing. So I just want to take as much information as I can from y'all. So when it's my turn to have to lead this team, I'll be in a position to lead. I don't think it was because of Kobe's words or his wording that caused me to want to leave LA. What I had saw was at the time, Houston, James Harden was just there. He's up and coming. They had Jeremy Lin, Chandler Parsons, Patrick Beverly, Terrence Jones. I was going to get a chance to work with Akeem Olajuwon and all these different things. So, I'm looking at this 1-2 punch of me and James. And then also the other guys, the Jeremy Lins who can pass, the Chandlers who can shoot, and Patrick Beverly who's a lockdown defender. So I'm looking at this situation like, oh, this is going to be perfect. I understand I'll be leaving the Lakers, and I just felt kind of bad with that, but it's like Kobe had just got hurt. I think it was going to be a rebuilding year. And some of my decision to leave was a little bit emotional because of how I felt like I was treated because we didn't win. A lot of the blame that season got put on me, and I allowed the outside noise to kind of affect my judgment on how I should move with my career after that.
Well, I'm going to switch it up for you, though, Weezy. I got to switch it up, okay? And P is involved in this one, man, because I remember when you first got to L.A. and P was sitting his big nose ass up in Indiana, happy as hell to get you up out the East Coast. That's all I can definitely say right there. And I want to know what were some of the biggest on-court battles with you and my boy PG, man?
I think it was one time Paul, he dunked on me was it after the play? Are you trying to
after the play? Yeah, you lifted me up.
Yeah.
You lifted. Hey, I felt like a little kid too.
It was crazy. Like came down the lane, I just kind of pushed him up. And
I talked about it on the bench. Hey, Dwight lifted me up, y'all.
But it was, I would say my battles playing against PG were mostly going against. I can't think of the big man now. Roy Hibbert. I'm sorry, Roy Hibbert. So that was kind of like my battling against Big Roy. And I think the time when we really had a battle was just crazy. It was supposed to be an exhibition game. We were both in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And that's when it got a little wild. I remember one of the wives of one of the girlfriends was like, chill out, dude. Why you doing too fucking much? It's an exhibition game. Like, hey, my bad. But we did have some battles. I would say the craziest thing that I seen with PG is when you got hurt in the Olympics, because it's crazy. I had the same injury. The only difference was my bone didn't pop out of my leg. So everything else happened. It broke. I actually broke my growth plate, which is crazy. I was 5'9" at the time. And I broke my growth plate and grew all the way to 6'11" after that. So it was just crazy. But I tell people, man, you had almost like that similar type of leg break. And,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Should have been 7-3.
Anything you can remember, P?
I remember, obviously that Orlando team was tough to beat. You know what I mean? I think my first year, we lost to Chicago. Then my second year, I think we played y'all second round, either first round or second round, we lost to y'all. But me being a young dude, that's when I was like, I had already had respect for you, but I'm like, man, this dude is tough, bro. Like, it's nothing we could do. We tried to W, and Roy's a good defender. You know what I mean? Roy's a good defender. He's gonna take the challenge, and it was still like just watching how Roy looked after games. This dude is beat. Roy is stressed out, but Roy, he accepted the challenge. Shout out Roy, But at the end of the day, it was nothing that we could have did versus y'all. And then y'all had the shooters. Mm-hmm. It was just nothing that we could have did against y'all.
And it's so crazy. I love playing in Indiana. I was my favorite places to play. Y'all had a guy who used to work the scoreboard. He was a little older. He retired, I think, 2 years afterwards. But I really enjoyed like my time at the, playing the Pacers, being with all the fans and stuff, seeing what's his name, the comedian Mike Epps at the games. I really enjoyed that. We did have some battles, so it was a lot of fun.
Well, I tried to get you to Indy. I tried.
Yeah.
I did try.
Is this the person, P, did you just do a reveal right there?
Yeah, Dwight was one of them. I tried to get Dwight in Indy.
Okay.
Come on.
It was so difficult. It was like trying to get superstar players together at that time. I feel like if me and PG did play together, that 1-2 punch would have been cold and vicious. But I think historically, I don't know if I've ever, for myself, played the best with two guards. I think I played better with like a shooting two guard, somebody that can shoot and make pocket passes and stuff like that. But a two guard that is a scorer, I think we both got it didn't kind of balance out well because both of us wanted the ball. We needed rhythm and stuff like that. So it probably would have been cool to kind of like learn how to, play with an awesome scorer like that before I would have got to a Kobe and obviously a LeBron.
Yeah, I think, I just thought it was a ton of value with how we played in Indiana because we were such a defensive-minded team. And that's what, you were awesome at, protecting the paint. And we had some of the best defenders there. And it wasn't even about the defenders we had. It was about the scheme that we had, the toughness, the mental approach to the game. You play for Indiana. It's especially in that era when I came and was a part of that team, it was a certain way you came out and you played because of, Larry Bird's, influence, and Dan Berg, shout out Dan Berg, who was our defensive coach, his influence. It was
I know Dan.
Yeah, DB. So it was a certain style and toughness that we played with. And, I thought, at that time, it would have been perfect to have you in Indiana.
Oh, yeah, it's just cold, man. It'd be cold in Indiana, man. I don't like
it's cold. It's for sure. It ain't Orlando.
Well, Dwight, look here, man. I don't know if you noticed, I'm a diehard ass Laker fan beyond. And you don't know how excited my ass was in 2020 when y'all won that ring. So first of all, congratulations. But you got to know how us LA fans really is. We respect because it was the bubble and y'all won a championship. But deep down in the back, we like, did they win a championship? Because of the bubble. I'm just saying. It wasn't an 82 game. Hey, this how it's real LA fans. But the White, I said congratulations. Second, I just want to know, how was it during the bubble? Because we know it was tough. How was it being with Bron during them times, man? Can you give us some backstory about the bubble with LeBron and all that, winning the championship?
I mean, the bubble was the bubble. It was one fish in the lake, so if you wanted to fish, everybody had to try to catch that one fish that was in the lake. The food was booty cheeks until they started having the different restaurants be able to cook for us. We couldn't do Uber Eats because you couldn't cross the gun line. If you crossed the gun line,
boss,
it was trouble.
Can't play for a month.
Yeah.
Instant quarantine.
Like, make it make sense. We getting tested 3 times a day. You can't even catch a cold in that bitch. So I'm trying to figure out how we going to catch COVID. We get tested 3 times a day. Nobody there but us. Like, what are y'all doing? That's the part that was stressing me out. I'm like, it's only players here. We get tested 3 times a day. It ain't no way we could catch COVID. In my mind, all these conspiracy theories is coming up. I'm like, man, they taking all our DNA and they cloning us. It's a clone Paul George and a clone Dwight Howard out there somewhere right now. I might be a clone the way they done use so much DNA on us at the doggone bubble. That's why they call it the bubble. They wanted to get us together. But no, I had a lot of fun, man, just having the opportunity to play basketball, be in Orlando where I started my career at, play with the Lakers again, and win. So That was the ultimate goal, and I'm super glad that I went. Excuse me, and we won the championship.
Congratulations on that. I'm just saying, man, LA, forget it, man. We know how hard that is to get.
We also want to congratulate you on your Hall of Fame nomination. I
Thank
know
you,
that's big time.
Yes, sir.
There was a story that
Much
came out,
needed.
or we heard that when ESPN called you, you actually didn't even believe it was true because you haven't officially retired yet. So
Yeah, I didn't believe it.
are we retired? And talk about a little bit what it means to be nominated into the Hall of Fame.
I have not officially retired yet, but I don't know what I'm going to do yet,
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I thought I was going to get back in the league, but Paul said he didn't want nobody over 35 playing center.
What about the GM? What'd he say?
The GM, what'd he say?
What'd the GM say?
I asked LeBron, he said he wanted Bronny. And
Okay.
he said he's trying to get Bryce. The last time I talked to LeBron, he said, listen, White, I'm trying to get Bronny and Bryce to be on the Lakers, and I'm trying to get Savannah to be.
No. He brought Savannah in it.
He said,
She's going to be the owner of the team. So it's a family affair, the whole James family. But no, man, I really enjoyed my time with the Lakers. Obviously playing with LeBron. It's a great memory playing with the Lakers. And as far as retirement, man, I just wanted to play as long as I could play. And retire when I feel like retiring, not when somebody else tells me I should or stuff like that.
There it is. That's respect. I got one question that because I before we get, we about to wrap this up, but before we get to Jackie's segment, I got one question because I watched the Special Forces.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to you. A ton of respect for what you did, what you went through. It inspired me to challenge myself. And I'm like, man, could I do this? Like, am I mentally strong enough for some of this? Talk to us a little bit about what that experience was like. I know you talked a little bit on Melo's show, but I watched the whole thing, man, and here to tell you, I was proud. You know what I mean?
That, yeah.
You held it down for the NBA, dog. Man, talk to us a little bit about that experience.
It was literally one of the toughest things that I had to do. And before we even started the show, we had to sign death waivers just in case we died during the show. But that's how real the show was. This was not like some staged or scripted show. Everything we did was actual, factual. And for me, I'm always looking for a test, something to challenge myself, challenge my will, challenge my mindset. And this was that test. We had to write death letters to our kids.
I saw that. That was an emotional moment.
Yeah, but that was probably the most emotional thing I had to deal with is sitting up there writing a letter and reading it, just imagining telling my kids, like, I'm dead, y'all. Like, it's the last time you're going to hear or see a handwriting or anything from me. Fighting a staff sergeant that has over 135 kills. Like, these are some crazy things, but what it taught me really is that I can do anything I really put my mind to. And, it was the best experience I ever had. I don't know if my adrenaline will ever be that high like it was from the show ever again. But, it really just boosted my level of faith. It just gave me this sense that no matter what happens in my life, I know how to stay calm. I know how to handle it. I know how to fight through it. Like, bro, I got kidnapped. We got kidnapped. We got set on fire. We got put in tear gas. Like all these different things. We're facing literally all these different things.
Man, who can kidnap your big ass? Nobody kidnap your big ass.
You want me to tell you who can kidnap my big ass?
Oh.
AK-47.
Okay, they can kidnap your ass.
You put that in my face. I'm hands up.
Which way to go?
I'm closing out on defense hard.
Hey, the muscles didn't work that day, huh?
My muscles went dead. All of them.
Hey, you got to look at buildings and be like, I could jump off that
I
motherfucker.
do. Man, but it was...
Nah, that was impressive, man. Y'all got to watch that if y'all ain't seen it, man. That shit was impressive.
Don't bring him up yet, P. I want to ask you one more question before we get to the 2 minute, man. I got to ask this because everybody probably want to know. Speaking of your kids, who the hell got you into TikTok? Because you TikToking everywhere now with your girl, you TikToking. I know your old ass don't know how to work no TikTok because I don't. So who got you TikToking right now? You trying to get a TikTok deal? I get it.
Actually, my kids, they're telling me like, Dwight, Dad, you got to always adapt. You got to be able to grow and adapt and change. And, you know, when I first came in the league, it was no social media. So now the Snapchats and all these things, TikToks, I don't know how to do nothing but get on it, go to the live and press start live. That's what I know how to do. But it's actually been very entertaining and a lot of fun. And it gives me another sense of joy to actually get on there and provide people with enlightenment. You know, a lot of times when I get on these lives, I do Bible studies, you know, so we have full-on Bible studies for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we're just trying to enlighten people and just try to get them a positive outlook on life. So I'm proud. Thank you, TikTok, for making me a believer. And thank you for bringing it back. I'm glad that Sleepy Joe, Sleepy Joe was about to put us out of our miseries. Yeah, he almost fell asleep.
You almost sold one of your phones, Dwight? With the Apple?
Yeah.
I love it, though. Keep that TikTok going, though, man. Keep it going.
Yes, sir.
Keep it going. Bunky, as you mentioned earlier, it's time for your segment. What you got for us on the 2 minute report? Bung, bung.
Look, I appreciate it, P. This week's edition of the 2 minute is presented by Buffalo Wild Wings Go. Order wings for takeout delivery today. All right. So look, Fox Sports released the top 10 best dunkers in NBA history, and you commented confused to why the person with the most dunks in NBA history was not on the list.
Yeah.
We're talking about you, Dwight. So where do you think you rank on a list of top 10 dunkers?
Vince has to be in that list. Dominique has to be in that list.
Okay.
Then you got to have Jordan. You got to have Shaq. You got to have Dr. Duncanstein, whatever his name is, from back in the day.
Daryl Dawkins.
Yes, Daryl Dawkins. You got to have Sean Kemp in there. You got to have, you talking about greatest dunkers. I'm top 10. I'm top 10, if anything. So, you know, for me and Shaq not to be in it. Shaq, he's dunking on everybody, you know, breaking rims. So I just believe you're going to have the best dunkers. You got to have these guys in it. Now, if you want to talk about dunk contest dunkers, that's a totally different thing. But if you want to talk about the best dunkers in the league, you got to put the people that dunk all the time on people in there. Stromile Swift is one of the best dunkers.
Oof.
And he didn't get brought up. He didn't get mentioned in none of the
Sleeper. Amari
Stoudemire. Like, what? Come on.
Yeah, they had Vince Carter, Julius Irving, Dominique Wilkins, Blake Griffin, Michael Jordan, Sean Kemp, LeBron James, Jason Richardson, Daryl Dawkins, and Zion Williamson.
I think Zion's premature.
Zion is premature.
Yeah, you got to take Zion. Everything else is like, you could argue.
LeBron is 50-50, but I don't think he's one of the greatest dunkers, but he's 50-50. So he done got a lot of bodies.
LeBron is not the greatest dunker. LeBron just slams the ball with one hand or two hands. That's not nothing crazy. I'm just being real. We love him.
He do the one hand dunk. The one-hand dunk, or he's doing a two-hand dunk.
LeBron's chase down the block of ball more exciting than his dunks to me sometimes. I tell you that.
I think you got to put Bron in that top 10 list.
You think?
For sure.
He's probably got a lot of dunks too, if we're talking just like dunking.
Give me one freaky dunk that you can remember. It was freaky as hell, and it was awesome. Like, damn, LeBron did that.
Didn't he do the reverse too? I mean, he's got
he had
some.
The reverse, touch the ankles. He had the one leg free throw line. He had didn't he jump? Who'd he jumped over? Lucas. On a lob jump
that
over,
was Jason Terry.
No, that's when he dunked on Jason.
Yeah.
He had a lob over and jumped over John Lucas.
No, that was Giannis who jumped over somebody off the lob, I think, with the 1 foot in New York.
Right. That was.
But LeBron did. But I just don't see.
I think Bron got to be a top 10 for sure. For sure.
All right, Sean Kemp, Vince Carter.
Vince Carter. Those are locks. Blake Griffin, I think, is a lock.
Blake Griffin is a lock.
MJ is a lock. Shaq is a lock.
Yes.
I would even tell me how, like D-Wade. D-Wade was one of has the most dunks as a guard.
If that's the case, DeAndre Jordan should be on there.
And then if that's the case, Russell Westbrook got to be on there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where it gets, Russ for sure. But I think that's along the lines of like people over. If you're gonna put Zion in there, if you're gonna put, everybody else that's on there, I think Zion is a little premature. If you're gonna not put y'all on there, how would you put Zion there?
Dwight definitely should have been on there before Zion.
Right.
Come on, nothing against Zion.
Right. Come on, man.
Come on.
Zion ain't even did the dunk contest.
You could have threw DeAndre Jordan before Zion if that's the case. Shit, I'm just being real.
Or LaMelo, huh?
Like, you know that.
Whoa.
Hey. Dude, T, did you see the report that came out today on his dad? I got to bring it up.
I saw that.
I don't know what happened, but my prayers go out to him. It looked
prayers
like
go out to the Ball family.
Some type of medical condition and had to amputate his foot.
Yeah, I saw the picture. He was in all smiles, so hopefully it's better than we think.
I tell you this, he gonna give everybody in the world who have ever got something amputated the most motivation in the world to keep going. Because that dude personality and his just spirit is so amazing. We watched him teach his wife how to damn near keep going. Now let's see him watch what he do with this leg, man. Boy, gonna be cold.
Hey, well, on that note, Dwight, man, we appreciate you stopping through. It's been real. We've been honored to have you on the show and you blessing Podcast P. You've given us some great stories and a lot for us, the fans at home that's going to watch this to remember. Thanks for pulling up, Brody. We appreciate you.
We coming to your show next.
Come to the DH above the rim, man.
We got to pull up.
All of us, right?
Yeah,
all of them, not just me.
Come on. Appreciate y'all, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, bro.
Love you, DH, for sure.
Thank you, Dwight.
Yes, sir.
We really appreciated Dwight coming through. That episode was fire. But before we wrap, fellas, it's no secret. This season is up to this point, man. It hasn't been what we envisioned. I know my goal when I first signed with Philadelphia was to bring a championship to these amazing fans here. I still remain positive about that, and that is still the case and where I'm coming from. With that being said, though, I want to let the Podcast P family know that after today's episode with Dwight, I plan to take a break from the pod just to focus on getting my body right, getting mentally right, and, help this squad make a push towards our goal to finish the season out, give ourselves a chance to be in contentions to compete for a championship. I won't front. The desire to get back to shooting in person with my guys as well is the forefront of, this hiatus as well. I look forward to us three being back together and doing this as we once started this. So we'll be back on that note. Be sure to lock in with us because we got some big things in store in our future. In the meantime, y'all be easy. From Podcast P, love and peace.